Okay, part 2 and probably the final part of like the random states battle royale. So, in case you missed the first part, I took a map off the internet of random like colors, a map, and each of these colors was a different team. And after the green team, a coalition was formed against it, and this yellow team got severely weakened. Like there was no real color, but this is yellow. After that team got severely weakened, we now really have two powers. We have the pink team and the blue team. So and yellow just got engaged in a war with yellow and pink went to war. Blue sat out, and blue sitting out is going to prove to be a huge mistake, as there's a lot of land that they could have gained if they joined the pink side or the yellow side. Whichever side they joined would have won. However, they decide not to join, which will prove really bad. So we start off with, so yellow still really hates blue, and, blue, once again, like, blue decides, basically blue and yellow team up against, pink, which is not good. So, first of all, pink really wants to secure this. Pink wants to secure, like, this area, because that's the only, like, hope they have, that these regions are cut off. And they hope that they could, take the regions on one by one, and then maybe have a chance of winning. So the first thing they do is, forces out in the west, they don't really stand that much of a chance, the blue forces, as they're kind of surrounded by the yellow team. And there's not many, especially Washington. Washington actually falls first. The pink team realizes they have to be quick, otherwise they're gonna get outpaced. And then before yellow forces could reinforce Utah, pink forces managed to take over the state, cutting off the yellow team. So because the yellow team just went to war, they're very weak. And with the blue team kicked out, and like, most of the western forces can't even reach this eastern area. Oh, by the way, Vermont also falls. Most of these, they can't even reach. Most of these forces in the west are unable to reinforce the east, so they're just forced to defend, and a front line is created right here, as well as here. You know what, why did I make that? Yeah, I'm really stupid. Yeah, anyway, a front line is made there. And this is not great for the teams, as they, this is not great for yellow and I guess pink, because, now pink can't reinforce the eastern side. So the first thing they do is heavily send most of their troops in this, like, Illinois, Georgia, like, this whole area over here. And they send them to push into Northern Virginia, which they do. They take over D.C. Forces from Tennessee then push into this part of Virginia. And, they take over Richmond and capture Norfolk. This is disgusting, by the way. That looks much better. So Virginia does manage to, Virginia senders, as well as forces out here in these yellow forces, they center. So due to some geniusness, the pink team is winning this war. However, the tide of war isn't looking so great for the blue and yellow team, as the pink team is obviously winning. So in a move that surprised basically no one, the blue team actually decides to join the pink team in hopes of taking out some of this yellow area. Is this realistic? No. Would the pink team accept this pact even? I mean, maybe, but like, they did just go to war. This is on the exception that the blue team acknowledges their claims over Virginia, and yeah, basically blue's signing a peace treaty. They're giving up Alabama, and what's it called? They're giving up Alabama and Virginia for so basically they're surrendering is the short answer. And now the yellow team is surrounded. Pink forces push into Montana and Wyoming, taking the two states easily, while South Dakotan forces push into the North Dakota, as well as Nebraska. So that's good because that's connecting these areas. So yeah. Finally Texas gets connected to its Texas gets connected to the rest of the blue team after taking much of Oklahoma. However, the Panhandle is given to the pink team. Not like it does anything. But it does give them a border with Kansas, which they take advantage of and take much of the western part of the state. However, they agree with the blue team, which are now their ally. However, they secretly still hate each other, to split it up. And the pink team does something which has been done to them many times before, a few times, and invades Colorado, without consulting the blue team. And to this, and they don't want the blue team to be able to take Colorado, so they quickly take over the northeast part of the state to prevent blue team forces from reaching the rest of the state. And from there, Colorado does surrender. No, that's not what happens. They take much of the western part of the state. Much of Colorado's population lives like here. So, they take that over basically. But that's how it goes. That's the last part to surrender. So yeah, the pink team now the yellow team the blue team's really mad about this. But there's not really much they could do. So what the blue team does is they take over Minnesota and then decide to form an alliance with the yellow team in hopes of taking out the pink team, which they do, and they know they have to be quick with this, so they push into Kansas quickly and Oklahoma's Panhandle, as well as yellow forces. Blue sends a ton of forces to yellow to push into Mississippi and Tennessee, which both states do surrender. So the pink team is really mad that they just got backstabbed. So they launch a huge invasion into Pennsylvania and Ohio and New Jersey. This is like the blue team's heartland. If this falls, then the blue team basically falls. Instead of hopping across the Ohio River, forces decide to push into the New York area from the north, as well as Toledo. Toledo's put under siege, and the two forces are connected up here. While Wisconsin, due to the fact that they're unable to reinforce this area, they take advantage of Michigan being distracted and take the Upper Peninsula. However, a spearhead is made towards Pittsburgh to hopefully cut Ohio off. However, they are stopped at the city and decide not to go around. Meanwhile, New Jersey falls and Philly is surrounded until it eventually falls. From there, Pennsylvania collapses, and now Pittsburgh is met on both sides. They hop across then they try to sneak behind it from both sides, and they do surround it. The city does keep fighting, though. However, Ohio surrenders, and Pittsburgh follows suit. This is bad for the blue team, as they did just lose one of their most important areas. So, understandably being pissed, they launched an invasion into Florida and Georgia. The yellow team takes Alabama, while the blue team, with much of the forces that they got left, take over Georgia, and many blue team forces from Texas are taken to invade southern Florida, which they do. So now the blue team has a strong foothold in the south, while the pink team controls both the east and west, and the yellow team controls also much of the south. So for much of this, the blue team has been switching sides, and that's not going to change, as they want control of the south. So they actually help the pink team now. They switch sides again, and they invade Alabama and Mississippi and Louisiana, connecting these areas, while the pink team takes Tennessee and Arkansas. So now we truly have two states, I guess, two countries left. The blue team is connected and but weaker, while the pink team is definitely stronger. It controls the entire mid-Atlantic region, as well as the western part of our country. However, they are separated, and they would need to push across Oklahoma or the Great Plains region, which would be annoying but doable, as they are stronger. And I'm going to end this video here. However, the blue team, their strategy is to cut off to take out one of the fronts, and they now are the ones who have to act fast. So we'll see how it goes in the next